Hello students, today we are going to discuss the topic of operators. What are operators? Operators are any symbols or tokens which operate on certain values. Okay. For example, 10 plus 20. This expression contains an operator, addition operator. Operator specifies what operation will be performed. And these two values 10 and 20, they are called operands. Operands are the values on which the operation is applied. There are four main classes of operators: arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical and bitwise operators. Okay, so we will discuss all these operators one by one. In addition to these four classes of operators, there are also some other special operators for specific tasks. So first we will discuss the assignment operator. The general form of the assignment operator is variable name equal to expression. Okay, and frequently in compiler messages you will see these two terms, L value and R value. Okay, when you practice more programming, you will come to understand how to interpret the compiler error messages. In those error messages, the two terms L value and R value are frequently used. L value in any object is any object that can occur on the left side of an assignment statement. So this statement is an assignment statement. So L value is anything which is occurring on the left side of this expression or this assignment statement. So for all practical purposes, L value means variable. For example, I write x equal to 10. This is the variable name x and the expression here is 10. It can also be a complex expression like 2 multiplied by 3 plus 4. Okay. So L value practically means the variable to which the value will be assigned. And the R value refers to the expressions on the right side of an assignment statement. Okay, so whatever is on the right side is called the R value. 10 and this expression 2 into 3 plus 4, these are the R values. These are the R values. Okay. Multiple assignments. You can merge multiple assignments into a single statement. C++ allows you to assign many variables the same value by using multiple assignments in a single statement. How can we do this? For example, you want to assign x, y and z the value 0. So for this, what you will do? You will write x equal to 0, then y equal to 0, then z equal to 0. Okay, normally we will do this, but C++ allows you to initialize all these variables to 0 in a single statement using multiple assignments. X equal to y equal to z equal to 0. So this is a single statement. Instead of using three different statements, we are using a single statement and we are assigning the value 0 to all these three variables x, y and z. This table shows us all the arithmetic operators which we can use in C++. First one is minus. Minus can be a binary operator for operating on two values. For example, 5 minus 2. This minus is operating on two values. So this is a binary minus, also known as subtraction operator. And in addition to this, we have unary minus also. Unary minus means it has a single operand. It operates on a single value. For example, minus 4. It is used to represent the negative values. Next we have addition. Addition operator adds two numbers, for example 4 plus 5. Multiplication operator used to multiply values. Division operator, modulus operator. Modulus operator is the remainder operator, also known as remainder operator. What does this mean? This means that, for example, you have a variable x equal to 10, and you have another variable y is equal to, for example, 3. Then z is equal to x modulus y. What will be the result of z? Z will give us the remainder after dividing 10 by 3. After dividing 10 by 3, we have a remainder of 1. So z is equal to 1. Okay. So this is another special operator which is there in the class of arithmetic operators. Two other operators are decrement operators and increment operator. It should be plus plus. There is a mistake. This is plus plus. Okay. So we will discuss these increment and decrement operators in detail in next few slides. So the operator plus plus or the increment operator adds 1 to its operand, and minus minus subtracts 1 from its operand. For example, if we want to increment the value of some variable by 1, we want to make x equal to x plus 1. For example, initially the value of x is 10, we want to make it 11. What we will do? X equal to x plus 1 means 10 plus 1. Now the value of x will become 11. Okay, so this is the increment operation, but we can also do with the help of plus plus. It is same as plus plus x. Okay, this will also make the value of x as 11. Okay, and also we can write it as x plus plus. Both of them are same. So this is same as this and this. Okay, this is called pre-increment because we are using the increment operator before its operand, and this is called post increment because we are using the increment operator after its operand. And if you want to decrement the value of x, you can write x equal to x minus 1. The value of x will become, initially if it is 11, x is 11, then x equal to x minus 1 will make it 10. But instead of writing this expression, you can also write x minus minus or minus minus x. This is post decrement and this is pre decrement. Okay. Both increment and decrement operators may either precede, prefix or follow postfix the operand. X equal to x plus 1 can be written as plus plus x or x plus plus. For example, when increment or decrement operator precedes its operand, precedes means it is prefix, okay, or pre-increment or pre-decrement, then the increment or decrement operation is performed before obtaining the value of the operand for use in the expression. What does this line means? For example, the value of y is initially 10. Then you are using prefix. Okay, increment or decrement operator precedes its operand. You are using the pre-increment y. Okay, then what will happen? the increment or decrement operation will be performed. In this expression, the value of y will be incremented by 11. This operation, increment operation, will be performed, and then the value obtained will be used in this expression. The value which we obtained after performing this operation is 11. It will be used in this expression, means it will be assigned to x. X will become 11. And when you are using the postfix y equal to 10, x equal to y plus plus, now we are using postfix, the result is not the same. Now what will happen? The value of y will be used in the expression first, x will become 10, and then y will be incremented, y will become 11. Okay, so in this program the value of y became 11, then it was used to assign to x, so x also became 11, but in this the value of y is used first, so x is equal to 10 and then y is incremented. So this is the difference. So when you use these expressions in the expressions, then pre-increment and post-increment, they are different. Similarly, pre-decrement and post-decrement are also different from each other. So here is the same example. Initially x equal to 10. If we write y equal to plus plus x, then x will be incremented, x will become 11, and then 11 value will be assigned to y. Therefore y is equal to 11. However, if you write this code as x equal to 10, y equal to x plus plus, then what will be the value of y? Y will be 10. Either way, x is set to 11, but the difference is in when it happens. In both these expressions, x is 11, x is incremented, but the difference lies in when it happens. When means whether x is incremented before using its value in this expression, or whether x is incremented and then its value is used in the expression. Most C++ compilers produce very fast, efficient code for increment and decrement operations that is better than that generated by using the normal assignment statement. Okay, so if you want to increment a value, instead of using this expression x equal to x plus 1, you can write x plus plus or plus plus x. Both these statements are faster as compared to this. Okay, therefore you should use the increment and decrement operators whenever you can. So this table gives us the precedence of arithmetic operators. Precedence means if in an expression there are multiple arithmetic operations, then which operation will be performed first. For example, if the expression is x equal to 2 plus 3 into 4, then what will the value of x? Will it be 2 plus 3, 5 into 4, 20, or will it be 3 into 4, 12 plus 2, 14? Okay, this is decided by the precedence of operators. And in this table we can see that increment and decrement operators have the highest precedence, then the unary minus, then multiply, divide and modulus operators, and the lowest precedence is given to plus and minus. It means that in this expression plus has lowest precedence and multiply has higher precedence. So this operation will be performed first, 3 into 4, 12, and then 2 plus 12 will be performed, and the result will be x equal to 14. Relational and logical operators. In the term relational operator, relation refers to the relationships that values can have with one another. Relation means if we have two values, x equal to 10 and y equal to 5, then we are comparing these values. How can we compare? We want to find whether x is greater than y. So this is a kind of relationship of x with y, the greater than relationship of x with y. So this relationship is true. Similarly, we can test whether x is less than y. This is false. X greater than equal to y. So these are the relationships. Okay, relationships of the values with one another. X less than equal to y, x equal to y, x not equal to y. So these are the different relationships that values can have with one another, and the result of these evaluation of these relationships is always true or false, whether the given relationship is satisfied or not satisfied, whether x greater than y is satisfied or not satisfied. It can be satisfied, then the result will be true. If it is not satisfied, then the result will be false. In the term logical operator, logical refers to the ways these relationships can be connected. Okay. Relation operators are often used in combination with logical operators. Okay. So if we have some variables such as int day equal to suppose 15 and int month equal to 7. Okay, so I want to check that if day equal to 15 and month equal to 7, then see out birthday. Okay, so we are using the relational operator in this expression, which is the relational operator equal to. We are comparing these values, and please note that this is equal to operator which is used for comparing two values to check whether they are equal or not. The single equal to token is used to assign the values. This is the assignment operator which we discussed earlier. It is used to assign the value to a variable. Okay, so these two are different, and you have to take care while using assignment operator and equal to operator. Okay, so here we are comparing day to value 15. We want to check whether day is equal to 15, and this is the second relational expression which is comparing month to value 7. Okay, whether month is equal to 7, and this is the logical operator. This logical operator is called AND operator. AND operator means the output will be true. The output of this if expression will be true if both these statements, day equal to 15 and month equal to 7, if both of them are true. Okay, so if day is equal to 15 and month equal to 7, day equal to 15 is true and month equal to 7 is also true, because we set day equal to 15 here and month equal to 7 here. So both are true, and we are connecting these two relational operators, relational expressions, using this AND operator. Okay, and is seeing that both the left and right expressions are true. So what will be the result of this if expression? it will be true. Okay, and if it is true, then it will print birthday. Okay, don't worry if you are not able to get it, because when we will study if and else statements in the next lecture, we will use these relational and logical operators, and then you will come to know how they are used and how these things are happening, how this if statement is evaluating to true, and if it is evaluating to true, how we are printing birthday. Okay, so relational and logical operators are normally used with if-else statements. Okay. The idea of true and false underlies the concept of relational and logical operators. This we have already seen in this birthday example. True is any value other than 0. False is 0. Expressions that use logical or relational operators return 0 for false and 1 for true. Okay, so true means 1 and false means 0. C++ defines a bool data type. Bool data type we have already seen. Bool data type can have two values, either true or false. For example, bool A equal to true. Okay, so when we try to print the value of A, cout A, then the output will be true. Okay. In C++, a 0 value is automatically converted into false and a non-zero value is automatically converted into true. So instead of writing bool A equal to true, if I write bool A equal to 10, 10 is a non-zero value, and then try to print the value of A, what will be the output? The output will not be 10, output will be true. Why? Because a non-zero value is automatically converted into true. If instead of 10 I use -10, then what will be the output? Output will again be true, because -10, although it is negative, but still it is a non-zero value. And if we use A equal to 0, then the output will be false. Why? Because a 0 value is automatically converted into false. The reverse also applies. True converts to 1 and false converts to a 0. Okay. In C++, the outcome of a relational or logical operation is true or false, that we already saw in the previous slide. These two tables summarize the relational and logical operators available in C++. The relational operators are 6 in number: greater than or equal, less than or equal and not equal. They are used to check the relation between two expressions. For example, whether x is greater than y or not. And these relational operators or relational expressions can be connected together using logical operators. Logical operators are 3 in number: and, or, not. Okay. So if you have two expressions whose result is true, this can be any relational expression, x greater than y, and you have another expression, x greater than z, and both of them are true, and you are connecting them using AND operator. So what will be the result of this expression, this complete expression? True and true are true. In case of AND operator, if both the values are true, the result is true. If one of them is false, then what will be the result? The result will be false, because for AND to be true, both the expressions should be true. Similarly, false and true is also false, false and false is false. Okay, so this is the truth table of AND operator. If instead of AND we are using OR, then OR means if any one expression is true, the result is true. OR is false only if all the expressions are false. So false or false are is false. Okay, true or true is true, true or false is also true, because one of these two expressions is true. Similarly, false or true, here again it is true in case of OR. And not is used for inversion. For example, x greater than y. This is the expression. The result of this expression is true, but if we apply not operator on it, the result will be false. Okay. Similarly, if the result of an expression is false and we apply a not operator on it, the result will become true. Both the relational and logical operators are lower in precedence than the arithmetic operators. If an expression contains a combination of a mixture of arithmetic and relational logical operators, then arithmetic operators will be executed first, and then the relational and logical operators will be evaluated. For example, you have an expression 10 greater than 1 plus 12. Okay, so this expression contains a relational operator, which is the sign of greater than, and an arithmetic operator. Okay, so which one of them will be evaluated first? Whether it will be 10 greater than 1 plus 12, or it will be 10 greater than 1 plus 12. As written here, the arithmetic operators have higher precedence, so this expression is valid. So it will this plus expression will be evaluated first. So it will become 10 greater than 13, and then this operator will be evaluated and the final result will be false. The result of this expression is false. You can combine several operations together into one expression as shown in this example. Okay. So here is another example. Here we are combining several operators. We have greater than, we have this logical and, logical not, then less than operator, or operator, then again these relational operators less than equal to. So can you figure out the result of this expression? The result is true. How? Try to write a program and then verify why the result is true. This table shows us the precedence of relational and logical operators. Highest precedence is given to not operator. Next are greater than equal, less than equal, and then equal, not equal, then AND operator, and the lowest precedence is given to the OR operator. So given this precedence table, now I hope you can evaluate the expression shown in the previous slide. Next type of operators are bitwise operators. Bitwise operation refers to testing, setting or shifting the actual bits in a byte or word. Byte means word. Byte and word, they are the same thing, and the bitwise operators operate on the bits which are stored in a byte. They can test the bits. Test means check whether a particular bit is 1 or 0. Setting means changing a bit from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. And shifting means shifting the bits in a byte to left or right. Okay, and these bitwise operators are used on char and int data types and their variants. Why on char and int data types? Because char and int data types store whole numbers. Remember, the range of char is from 0 to 255 if it is unsigned, and it is minus 128 to 127 if it is signed. Similarly, int data types also store integers. Okay, and the bitwise operators are also applicable on the variants. Variants means you can use char, you can also use unsigned char, signed char. Similarly, you can use int, you can use short int, long int, signed int, unsigned int. So these are all the variants of these two data types. You cannot use bitwise operators on complex data types such as float, double, long double, void, bool, etc. These operations are applied on the individual bits of the operands. Okay. So we will see some examples, then you will see how the individual bits can be changed by using these bitwise operators. This table summarizes the bitwise operators which are available to us. The first one is bitwise AND. This bitwise AND is different from the logical AND. Logical AND operates on logical and relational expressions, while this AND operates on bits. Okay, so for example, x equal to 10 and y equal to 2, then what will be the result of x bitwise and y? For example, x is represented in computer's memory using 1010 and y is represented using 0010. For the sake of simplification, I am just representing these numbers using 4 bits, although an integer occupies 4 bytes in memory. Okay, but for the ease of understanding, I am using this representation. Then what will be the result of this? 0 0 is 0, 1 1 is 1, 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 0. So the result is 2. Okay. Next is bitwise OR. OR operator is different from the logical OR, which is represented by this symbol. Okay. Then if we apply the logical OR on this, then what will be the result? Logical OR. Then 0 0 is 0, 1 1 is 1, 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 1. Okay, so the result is 10. The result is 10 on applying the OR operator. Next we have exclusive OR. Exclusive OR or XOR. In XOR, if both the values are same, for example 0 0, or both the values are 1 1, then the result is 0. But if the values are different, one of them is 1, another one is 0, then the result is true. So if we apply the XOR operator on this, the answer will be 0 0 is 0, 1 1 is 0, 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 1. The result is 8. Okay. Next is ones complement. Ones complement is a unary operator. Okay. It operates on a single value. So what will be the result of x complement? X is 1 0 1 0, x complement will be 0 1 0 1, that is 5. Okay, and the last two operators are shift operators, which we will discuss in detail in next few slides. The bitwise shift operators move all the bits in a variable to the right or left as specified. So this is the shift right operator, which shifts the values to right, and this is the shift left operator, which shifts the values to the left. Okay, so the general form of shift right statement is variable shift right number of bit positions. For example, you have a variable int x equal to 10, then you write x shift right 1. What does this mean? The binary representation of x is this. Shift right means you are shifting the values to right, and 1 means you are shifting the values once. Okay, you will do this operation once. So this will be the result, and because this position has become empty, we will insert a 0 here. Okay, so original value was 10, the new value is 5. So the shift right operation results in a value divided by 2. Okay, 10 has become 5. Okay, and if instead of 1 we write 2 here, then this shifting will be performed twice. So once we have already done it, if we do it twice, then what will happen? 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. Okay, so the result is 2. Again 5 has been divided by 2. Although the result is 2.5, but we ignore the part after the decimal point. So the answer is 2. Okay. Similarly, in case of shift left operation, if x is originally 10, then we want to shift it left by 1, then we will write x shift left 1. So if x is shifted by 1, then what will be the result? The result will be this 0 will shift here, this 1 will come here, this 0 will come here, this 1 will come here, 0 0 0, and here we will insert a 0. So the original value was 10, the new value is 20. Okay, so this operation is resulting in multiplication by 2. Okay, and if we do it twice, then what will happen? 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 and 0, and it is equal to 20. You can check this. Again the value has been multiplied by 2. So shift right result in a value being halved, and shift left once results in a value being doubled. Okay, and note here that shift is not a rotate. Okay, rotate means we are rotating the values. The values which are getting out from one side are being appended at the other side. This is not done. Instead, the bits shifted off one end do not come back to the other. Okay, shift right effectively divides the number by 2, and shift left multiplies it by 2. Okay, this table gives us the summary of the precedence of the operators which we have seen so far. Some of these operators have not been discussed because they are somewhat advanced operators, and we will come to know about them as we encountered them while going through this course. Okay, So basically this is the summary. You can look at it later on when you cover most of these operators. Okay. And lastly, these are the references for this chapter. Thank you.